That's it. Touchdown.
And we've got to thank God every minute of every day. It's your guy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart, joined by the Heisman runner-up from 1999 to Ron Dane's terrible self, a South Carolina and a Georgia Hall of Famer, and All-American when it comes to Georgia Tech, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it in the ACC. We are happy to be joined by none other than Joe Hamilton himself in the building. How you feeling, Ham?
I feel like the Harbaugh guys, the Harbaugh coaches, when they say, who's got it better than me? Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
And I know I'm sounding a little bit selfish right now, Stu, but I don't feel anybody in that position or the position they're in. Yeah. And I don't know everybody's position. They can't have it better than me right now, man. I am doing stupendous. I take one of your words. I'm doing stupendous, my brother.
I was driving. Thank y'all for being here. This is In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I am One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. Quick housekeeping reminders before we get into today's show. You can find us here every single Wednesday, and we ask that you like the show. We ask that you subscribe to the show. We ask that you pass the word about the show. There's still a lot of people that don't know we pop up on Wednesdays to do this. If you can't catch us live, log on whenever time allows for you to view and then watch it at your leisure. I also need to remind you that every Monday and Thursday right here on the same platform on YouTube, Stewart Media and Entertainment's platform on YouTube, you can catch the Two Live Stews experience with my brother Doug and I. Today is Wednesday, so tomorrow morning at 7, Doug and I will be here. We also do a show meeting prior to our show at 7. The show meeting starts at 6:30, where we really discuss and talk about the rundown, the script, how we're going to do what we're going to do in the show that follows after the show prep meeting at 7. So y'all please subscribe, like, pass the word, let people know we're here, especially when it comes to In the Huddle with Joe Ham. If you like Georgia Tech football, you got two of Tech's finest. You got two of Tech's finest. I mean, we both of us think. I mean, hey. I ain't tooting my own horn, but we both did our thing down there on the flats for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. I am One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart, and before we get to today's show, to parlay off of what you were about to say or what you said a second ago, I was driving back from Mary Buckner Academy, where I mentor every Wednesday from 9:45 to like 11:15. I was driving home, and out of nowhere, I was listening to First Take. Out of nowhere, I turned the TV down or turned the radio down so I couldn't hear anything. And I just said, thank you, Lord, for blessing me to be able to do what I love. Spending time with those kids, it really excites me. I love spending time with them. I love mentoring them. I love talking to them. But now I'm leaving them to drive home and go straight to the studio to spend some time with one of my best friends talking sports. Thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Every day when I pray, and I pray often throughout the course of the day, I tell him thank you all the time. So he knows what's on my mind and on my heart. He understands this. It's not the first time he's heard this, but what a blessing. Who literally has it better than us right now? Nobody.
And Stu, it's going to sound braggadocious that I am bragging, and I'm going to echo what you said, is that, and that is his will. We're not taking anything away from anybody. He wants that from us, for us to serve kids, to have fun, to give him glory, and to do what we love doing. So that's why when I say who's got it better, maybe somebody can say they do, but I don't think they do. So that's why, and I am so ready to chop it up, man. Me too have been waiting for this, because of the reason last week, I filled in on the Two Live Stew experience with Doug, and we didn't talk after that. You went out on vacation. So Thursday, up until now, we've sent texts. Yeah. But I hadn't heard your voice since last Wednesday when we did the show last Wednesday. So I don't know what's on your mind about some things that's occurring. I can't wait to hear it. And again, I'm what do you call it? I'm glittered with ghee. Or glee. Yes, absolutely.
In the huddle with Joe Hamilton, I am One Live Stew, Ryan Stewart. Joe sends a rundown every Tuesday. He usually sends it around 3, 4 o'clock, sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later. But driving out here, I called him to say, hey, man, no disrespect, but I don't know how we're going to get to the rundown based upon some new breaking news that has occurred since you sent the rundown. And the co-host that he is, not co-host because it's his show, the guy that he is says, hey, man, don't you worry about that rundown at all. If these topics are hot, let's discuss them as we see fit. And that puts me in line with this. Yesterday afternoon, Joe, the news dropped that the former head coach of the New England Patriots, the 8-time Super Bowl winning coach, 2 as a coordinator, 6 as a head coach in New England, Bill Belichick, his Hall of Fame bid has been snubbed. A whiff of piety, as this headline right here says, score settling.
Score settling.
This is In the Huddle with Joe Ham, so I'd be a fool to get before we get started. So, Joe, please share your thoughts about what we found out on yesterday with hands down or arguably one of the best football coaches in the history of football ever being snubbed when it comes to being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, you limited him a little bit in my eye view or my eyesight because you said football coach, and I would say coach, period. In all platforms, baseball, basketball, hockey, what have you. I mean, he's the best coach or one of the best coaches, period. And because we talk facts, dude, we don't want to be wrong. When I first saw it yesterday, I said, I'm not going to text anybody this. Let me check out ESPN. Let me check out CBS. Let me check out Yahoo. Yes. And they were all clicking in and coming in because everybody was taken aback. It was stunned. I still don't have any words for why, but I say this, dude, this is my initial thought. It's not thoughts, it's a thought. Bill Belichick should never get in. So miss me with everything that you're going to make him wait because of Spygate. You're going to make him wait because of Deflategate. So if you're going to do those type things, then treat him like Barry Bonds and treat him like Roger Clemens. If he did something so egregious that he cannot be in the Hall of Fame, that's a sure shot first ballot Hall of Famer. If you're going to put him down as that, then Bill Belichick, we should never see him in the Hall of Fame. That's my humble opinion, and I'm going to stick by that because I don't believe in any make him wait because the media don't like him, make him wait because how he, had short talks or short conversations with the media or even Deflategate and Spygate. And I would say this, Deflategate and Spygate, that's nothing to gloss over. That was cheating because they got punished for that. The NFL deemed that cheating. With that being said, if that cheating is so egregious that you deem it, whoever did not vote for him, then don't ever vote for him. Don't say we're going to punish you, we're going to slap you on the wrist, and you're not going to have by your name first ballot Hall of Famer. He can be second or third. I'm not buying it. Don't vote for him, Stu. That's my initial opinion.
In the Huddle with your boy Joe Ham, I am One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. I hear you and understand wholeheartedly everything you just said, but I disagree.
Okay.
The reason why I disagree is because Bill Belichick was a dick to people. Bill Belichick was a dick to the media. Bill Belichick, for decades, refused to answer people's questions directly. And the people that I'm referring to is the media. Let me tell you a quick story. I got cut by Detroit. It was the second time Detroit cut me. And the Philadelphia Eagles flew me in for a workout. The New York Jets flew me in for a workout. I spent about 2 hours with Bill Belichick one-on-one. Bill Belichick worked me out on the field. It was one of the hardest workouts I'd ever had. Bill Belichick took me into the meeting room after the workout and after we ate, took me into the meeting room where we looked at film and we talked schemes and football and what would you do here and
I've never
what did
heard
the safety
this
do right or what did the safety do wrong or tell me what you think about this and why did we talked ball. I spent 2 hours one-on-one with Bill Belichick. He was a totally different Bill Belichick as the Jets than he was with New England. With New England, the guy was a Class A jerk. Joe, who votes for the people to get into the Hall of Fame?
Media.
Coaches, current and former players, and the media members. Writers, to be exact. And if you don't answer this guy's questions when you ask them, if you belittle people when they ask you questions, if you take shots at people to show them how smart you are or how ignorant they are, they have the last word at the end of the day when it comes down to things like this. Let me make this point. If T.O. can wait a year, if Chris Carter could wait a year, if Pete Rose, as great as he was as a baseball player, can wait an eternity, if Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens can wait an eternity, Bill can't openly cheat and the Patriots be fined for him doing so, and he not have to wait too. Is he better than the others that I just named that had to wait or that may not be in today? Is he better than them?
No. But again, why make him wait? What's the big deal? If the big deal is about having first ballot in front of your Hall of Fame or being a first ballot Hall of Fame, and I know that's a big thing because it surprised Bill Belichick when he received the call that he wasn't getting in. It surprised a lot of us that he wasn't getting in. So I'm making my point that the media and who all you called out that he was a dick to, that he, was an a-hole to.
And y'all please excuse my French. Continue, Joe.
Yes. Or that has nothing to do when you're talking about criteria. They get in that room and they tell you it's all about the football field. Right. So when you saying how he treated the media, I wouldn't say miss me with that, but I'm saying that's on the back burner. And if you go into Spygate and Deflategate, that is on the field. Yeah. Okay. How he treated the media, that shouldn't have anything to do about wins and losses. But when you go Spygate and you go Deflategate, that's why I'm saying to you, keep Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame totally. Because how you going to slap him on the wrist for cheating and then allow him to get in the next year?
In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton, I'm One Live student Ryan Stewart. Thank y'all for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday outside. A little nippy, but it's absolutely beautiful.
It's sunny though.
In your humble opinion, did he deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No question about it. Yes.
In your humble opinion, do humans get it wrong from time to time?
Oh, absolutely.
Joe.
This is collusion, though. Oh, okay. Hey, hear me out real quick. Like you like to tell me, and I love it. Hey, hold that thought for a second. Hold that. Hey, remember what you're about to say. Okay?
I will.
Hey, this is collusion, and why I'm saying it's collusion is that there had to be 11 of those guys for him not to get 40 out of the 50 votes. Right. It wasn't just one or two. It wasn't just somebody over there saying you treated me wrong this back in 2015 or 2009. And I remember when I had my kid, as far as sitting there wanting to ask you questions and you totally blew us off. I'm talking about 11 guys were able to collude and say, we're not letting him in. Because as I was doing my research and reading up on it, they are in a room. They're discussing things about, this guy and that guy.
They're putting names on the board. They're erasing names. They're moving this guy down. They're moving this guy up. Oh, wait a minute. We forgot about so-and-so. He's eligible this year. So they're literally chopping it up to discuss the future of several individuals when it comes to the NFL Hall of Fame.
And that's why I believe it was collusion in terms of T.O., no doubt about it, and collusion in terms of Bill Belichick. But again, what's this thing about making them wait? What's that all about?
You reap what you sow in life. In life, karma is a bitch. Yeah, and that's why, as the Christians that you and I are, we're not holier than thou. We are not without sin. We're trying to be better every single day. Today, I think you and I are much better men than we were 20 years ago. Why?
No, without a doubt.
Because of our wives, because of our union, because of our children, because of life, because of growing, because of understanding what the Most High wants from us more today than we did yesterday. There's things that I don't care to do that I used to do daily back in the day.
Absolutely.
I know better now. I say all that to say
the chicken will come home to roost.
And that's what's happening to Bill. Sir, if I was in that room, Bill Belichick would have got my vote. There's no question about it. Bill Belichick would have got my vote. Even though the 10 to 11 people that didn't vote for him, they're safe because the world will never know who they are. Everybody's vote is private. I agree.
Oh, the world will know. The world will know.
I believe that there's collusion at play. I believe a group of guys said, hey, man, probably people in New England. Hey, man, probably people in Boston. Hey, man.
Yeah.
The guy just was unnecessarily mean for 2 decades.
Bill Polian, that said it. Bill Polian, a Hall of Famer in Bill Polian. Shout out to Bill Polian. Bill Polian gave me an opportunity with the Indianapolis Colts. I wouldn't say I know him well, but I know him and had some discussions on the football field about football, about life. So he was adamant about Bill Belichick doing just this, having to wait, being punished, so to speak, for what he did on the football field, how he treated the media, all those type things. So when it comes down to that, I want to, everybody that voted for him, that's how we will know. That's how I think I'm going to find out. Everybody that voted for him, throw your hand up. Right. Hey, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I voted for him. It wasn't me. I voted for him. And by them doing that, we'll be able to see who did not. And I just want one. And I know they don't have to. I know it's anonymous, and I get it, Stu.
Right.
I would just like for one of them to say, I did it, and tell me why.
Right.
Because we're guessing. They're leaving us to guess now. We're guessing Spygate, and we're guessing why they left him out. One person, man. Just
in the huddle with Joe Hamilton. I'm One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. Don't forget to catch the 2 Live Stews tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. The meeting will be at 6:30. But again, this is In the Huddle. Right now, we're talking about the snubbing that is taking place when it comes to Bill Belichick. If those guys were to be polled about who voted or who didn't vote for them, everybody can raise their hand.
I want some integrity.
But
so don't hide behind it, though. If anybody raises their hand,
it's an anonymous vote. It's a vote where going into it, you know that the only way anyone will know that if it is you is if you say something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
why hide?
Well, because when the masses is breathing down your neck like you and me, and like the 40 people that did vote, because those people had to be surprised.
Very surprised.
What do you mean he didn't get in first ballot? Mm-hmm. As they look around the room, was it you? Nope, wasn't me. Was it you? Nope, wasn't me.
right. Can you possibly fix your mind and your mouth and your thoughts to say this is an embarrassing look on the Hall of Fame?
Oh, it's a disgusting look.
Yes, it's a terrible look.
It's a disgusting look, and I heard some people on the Puppet Factory talking earlier about how there needs to be a retraction and they need to overrule the people that voted him down.
No, not just for Bill Belichick. No, I don't agree with that.
But that's what somebody in the Puppet Factory said.
Yeah. I mean,
somebody in the Puppet Factory just said, if they don't retract this vote and allow him to go in first ballot, I'll never watch another college football Hall of Fame, NFL football Hall of Fame ceremony again. I'll never watch another one. Mm-hmm. And this is people that have a vote that were making these comments. People are pissed.
It's a bad look on them.
Okay, I think it's a bad look. But at the same time, Joe, as a God-fearing man and as a parent, I tell my kids, when you do right by people, people will do right by you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids, karma is a bitch. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids, what come around goes around. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids, be of service to others and others will be of service to you. Bill Belichick is getting what he deserves. Even though I would have put him in first ballot, there's 10 to 11 people that have the power of the pen and they get a vote that said, not you. In my eyes, Terrell Owens is a top 4 NFL receiver in the National Football League's history. In my eyes, Chris Carter is a top 10 wide receiver in the National Football League's history. They had to wait. I have, even though I said, and I'm on the record, I would definitely put Bill in. I have no problem with the people that said, hey, Bill.
But Stu, I love what you're doing.
Yes, they're being petty, but I have no problem with them having the ability to use their pen and their voice at their leisure.
And I totally agree with what you just said. However, I'm going to use however. Then use your pen next year too.
Okay, if I want to.
Okay, so use your pen, and therefore that if the same 11, and God bless their soul, they can continue to live, and they're going to be on this earth, and their health is where it needs to be for them to have a vote until you meet your maker, right? In transition, keep on voting that way. Right. That's all I'm saying. Keep on voting that way, because if you don't believe Bill Belichick is a Hall of Famer, because to me it's not about first ballot. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a big deal because it's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. But it's about you don't believe that he's a Hall of Famer. If you don't believe that he's a Hall of Famer, Bill Belichick is not coming back into the National Football League.
I can debate and argue this with you. Them not voting for him now doesn't mean he's not a Hall of Famer. That's not what it means.
To them it does.
It simply means I have the power to decide if he gets in first ballot like they all want. And I'm not blessing him with that because of something he did or said, or because of Deflategate, or because of Spygate, which is cheating. They cheated. There's nothing that we can do to go back and change the fact that he was the head coach of the team that was found guilty and fined and punished for Spygate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach of the team that willingly, in ultra cold weather, took air out of the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
Not the other team's ball, their ball. So their quarterback could get a better grip on it and have more control.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question, Joe? You played the quarterback position at all levels.
Absolutely.
Does it make it easier to throw the ball or handle the ball in cold weather if it's less air in it?
Oh, absolutely. Without the shadow of a doubt. And here, let me add to that quite the only gripe, the only grief, the only setback that Tom Brady has when I talk about him is that he tried to make me look like I was an idiot to what you're talking about with that football. When Tom Brady says to me or says in the media that I don't know the difference in a football that you have thrown a billion times, that what is PSIs, right? It's PSI that he didn't know the difference between 1 or 2 PSI.
Right.
No. That's like LeBron James and MJ, Michael Jordan, and those guys saying when they dribble right before the tip off and they squeeze it and they hand it back to the refs and they say thumbs up. That's almost like they don't know the perfect size or the perfect feel for a football. So he can miss me with that. He knows the difference.
Along the lines of what you just said, I've seen prior to NBA games when the referees bouncing that ball to a couple people, this is the one we're going to use. I've seen guys squeeze it like, and pass it back. And what did the ref? The ref discards that ball.
Absolutely. Yes.
Give me another one. Squeezes that one, dribbles it, and then passes it to said player. Yes. Player squeezes it. Okay, this one's okay.
Yes.
I've seen that before. Yeah, Tom lied. And since you brought up Tom in the huddle with Joe Hamilton, let's talk about him real quick. And not just about Tom. Let's talk about Robert Kraft also. Robert Kraft is also on this year's ballot to go into the Hall of Fame.
You can't do it. You
Why
can't do
not?
it. Because again, they're associated with why, unless you're telling me the only reason that Bill Belichick was not voted a first ballot Hall of Famer was because his snorkiness to the media, okay. But when you add Spygate and when you add Deflategate to it, then Robert Kraft is all in it. They're all in the same kitchen. They are all in the same kitchen making the same meal. And listen to this. Tom Brady, the only thing about Tom Brady, which not you, but people are going to try to say to me, Tom is in the media now. They see Tom Brady a little bit different now. And that's true. All those things are true. And Tom was not a prick to the media with his playing career. He answered all their questions. But Tom Brady benefited. I'm sorry I don't have the research now, but I'll do the research for the next show. How many wins did he have or attain?
Because of that ball.
No, not Deflategate. Okay.
Spygate. Okay.
But I'm talking about Spygate because Spygate was all the way up until you are spying other guys' formation. You are spying other guys' coverages. Their
signals, calls.
So how that is helping out Tom Brady tremendously.
Yep.
So when you're talking about cheating, you cannot separate any of those guys, Kraft and Brady, from Spygate or Deflategate, in my opinion.
The only thing, in my humble opinion, you got on Robert Kraft is him going to the massage parlor. That's all you got on him. You can't put Spygate on Robert Kraft. You can't put Deflategate on Robert Kraft. No, sir.
So why, Stu?
You can't put being a penis to the media on Robert Kraft. I hadn't heard him say a negative word, a mumbling word, or a bad word to the media. I haven't heard it.
Well, Stu, I humbly disagree. And here's why this is why I humbly disagree with you is because Tom Brady didn't get $500,000 out of his pocket for Spygate.
The fines.
Tom Brady.
I believe it was $250 for each gate. Spygate was $250, and Deflategate was $250.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I believe your $500 is correct.
Well, okay, because I thought 500 was just that the first one, Spygate. But just leave the hidden on there.
Let me check right now. Go ahead.
And Tom Brady wasn't sat there and got deducted a first-round pick. That was the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, all those things. So when that money and those fines came out of Robert's Kraft pocket, that involved him. Why would they suspend him? Why would they take a first-round draft pick? Why would they sit there and fine him $500,000? Because they're saying you're the owner, you're the leader. No different than when you're dealing in college football, when a head coach he has to pay for his recruiting assistants' downfall. He has to pay when they go out and they, have illegal contact with student athletes and they don't respect the dead period. They're texting and Instagramming and DMing guys. The head coach is going to have to pay. So you cannot do that, in my opinion.
In Spygate, when the Patriots were found to have videotaped another team's defensive signals from unauthorized locations, the NFL fined the Patriots $250,000 and took away their first-round draft pick in 2008. Additionally, head coach Bill Belichick was fined $500,000, which is the largest fine ever levied on a coach at that time.
Ooh, so he was 500 in Kraft, and the organization was 250.
In the Deflategate controversy about underinflated footballs before the 2015 AFC Championship game, the NFL fined the Patriots $1 million and stripped the team of 2 draft picks. The team's quarterback, Tom Brady, was also suspended 4 games, though this was a personal penalty on him, not a team fine. So you're looking at $1.2 million plus of fines for both of the gates.
Yes. And okay, so what you were alluding to and what you said,
right?
Tom Brady got fined for cheating.
Tom Brady got fined.
He got suspended for cheating. Right. So therefore, he's going to have to mix up. He's going to have to. So now you're telling me that Tom Brady is not going to be, I'm talking about the all-time greatest quarterback that I have seen. Right. Is not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, they love that mugger. They love that mugger. They love him. And so do you, and so do I, and the writers will love him too. And Tom wasn't a jerk to the media when he was the best quarterback in the league. Tom right now is a member of the media, and I think he does a freaking phenomenal job. I don't think he's Tony Romo on the call, but he's totally different than Tony Romo, and his insight is something that is irreplaceable when it comes to things he talks about during a freaking football game. But because
I got Troy Aikman, Tony Romo, Tom Brady. But
I might put Romo ahead of Aikman, but
okay.
I need time to think about it. I don't want to. Don't put me in the record for saying that. I need to think about that. But Joe, Robert Kraft was not in a meeting with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady about taking the air out of that ball. There's no way. Robert Kraft was not in a meeting with Bill Belichick and whoever he talked to about filming signals and signs. In my eyes, there's no way in the world that Bill Belichick called his boss and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. No way in the world. That's why Robert Kraft gets in. And the love that the world has for Tom Brady is why he gets in. And if they decide to keep the best quarterback ever out of the first ballot Hall of Fame voting, I would understand, I would get it, and I would be happy with that. But there's no way they're going to do that. There's no way they're going to do that. Not only does he have the complexion for the protection, he's the best to ever do it.
Okay, Stu, there's no way for us to get to the bottom of this, and there's no way you can answer this the right way, but I'll say this. As of Monday of this week, you would have said there is no way that Bill Belichick wouldn't have been the first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's something that we did not talk about prior to this ruling coming out. It's something that we never discussed.
Nope.
However, I would have bet my enemy's life on it that he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. My enemy's life.
Right.
Not me or yours, but my biggest enemy. I would bet his life that he would have been a Hall of Famer. No question about it at all.
And now you're doing the same thing with Tom Brady. Be careful, because I'm saying with this Deflategate and this Spygate, some of those guys think about cheating that way. And matter of fact, one of those guys is my friend too, and he's your older brother. and I'm not speaking for Doug Stewart. I'm not speaking for him. But again,
Doug hates everything new. He hates New England, and the only reason why is because of the Gates.
See, exactly.
He hates them.
I cannot argue with him about it. I cannot. And if he sits there with his pen and say, I cannot vote for those guys because they cheated, I have to digress. I have to pipe down. So be careful when you say he's a sure shot, best quarterback of our era, best quarterback that I've seen ahead of Joe Montana now. What happened yesterday with Bill Belichick? I'm not so sure, Mr. Stewart.
Before we go and pay some bills, let me ask you one more question. Next year, if he gets the needed votes to get into the Hall, does he tell them no thank you?
No, he's going to accept. He's going to accept. He's going to accept it.
Does he pull a TO and not show up at Canton? And keep in mind now, Bill Belichick worships everything about the Hall of Fame in Canton. Bill Belichick, as a child, grew up and visited Canton often, going into that library and just reading articles and reading books about players and coaches. It's hallowed ground to him. He loves everything about that Hall of Fame in Canton.
He's not going to boycott anything, Stu, but me hearing Belichick and being around him at his press conferences the last 20 years, he's going to end his speech with something like, hey, you 11 guys that didn't vote on me or vote for me, thank you for humbling me. Because that's it. I mean, he might say take another shot. He might take another different shot at him, but he will let those 11 guys, or 10 to 11. I don't know how many guys that work. 10. Yeah, but he's going to have something to say to him. I believe that wholeheartedly. But he's not going to disrespect the Hall of Fame as a whole and not show up and not be there for his speech and have somebody to introduce him. He's not going to do that, in my opinion, man. But it's crazy.
I talked to Terrell Owens every other year or so, and when I heard that he wasn't, I love him.
Yes,
I love Terrell Owens. I mean,
I hooped Terrell Owens times. I mean, we hooped at the right there by your old radio
was
station.
it run and shoot?
Oh, Crunch, right there by
Crunch.
the.
Okay, yeah. Okay. When I heard that he was going to do his own Hall of Fame acceptance at some school, someplace where he did it or wherever he did it, I called him and I was like, T.O., I don't think you should do that. I understand why you're doing that. I get you being hurt that they did you the way that they did, but I think if you do it this way, that is something you may regret in the future. And he was like, we see it differently, Stu. He didn't want to have a conversation about it. He felt the way he felt. We see it differently. I'm not going to Canton to accept. I'm not. I'm going to do it someplace else. I'm going to create my own. They won't make a penny off of me. I won't be there for them like they did not allow me to be there for me. I'm not doing it.
And that is complete water under the bridge, spilt milk now. Nobody says about T.O. didn't show up. Right. Nobody said that T.O., did nothing. It's all T.O. got in, and all we are seeing is that he got disrespected by not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah.
We got to pay these bills. It's In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I am One Live Stu Ryan Stewart. When we get back after we pay these bills, we're going to get into the huge divisional games that were played this past weekend. We're going to talk about the games. We're going to go into detail, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll also mention briefly about the Super Bowl that will be played next weekend, not this weekend. We got a week where we've got some time to settle in. We appreciate y'all being here. Please like, subscribe to the show. It's In the Huddle with Joe Ham. We'll be back shortly in a few minutes to talk about last weekend's divisional rounds. Y'all keep it locked. Listen, I played in the NFL. I've taken enough shots to last a lifetime. And let me tell you this, taking a shot just to lose weight, that's not a smart play. That's why I roll with Brain IQ. The all-natural weight chews cut cravings, boost metabolism, and sharpen focus. No needles, no chemicals, no crash. Just results you can chew on. And Brain IQ is not just about weight chews. They've got a full lineup of all-natural products to keep your mind sharp, your body fueled, and your health on point. Skip the needles, choose natural. Order now. BrainIQHealth.com/REF/1LiveStew. Brain IQ Chews. Smart, natural, built for results. You guys made a choice to be here with us today, and we're so thankful for that. It's In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I am One Live Stu Ryan Stewart. Quick reminder that tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the morning, right here on YouTube, on the Stewart Media and Entertainment's platform, the Stews will be together, my brother Doug and I, and we will be doing a 2 live Stews experience. Every Monday and Thursday starting at 7, we're right here. Can't catch it live, catch it at your leisure when time allows. Again, this is In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I'm One Live Stu Ryan Stewart, and he is the South Carolina and Georgia Hall of Famer himself, Mr. Joe Hamilton. Really enjoyed that just now, man. Talking
My
about
goodness.
I thought that it blew my mind when I heard it. I would have never ever imagined that would have taken place. But hey, man, you reap what you sow. And that's just the truth.
Always.
That's just the truth, man. As we get into the divisional round of the playoffs that took place this past weekend, are you surprised about the two teams that's playing? Let's start there, Joe. Are you surprised at all about the two teams that made it in to this year's Super Bowl, that being the Seattle Seahawks and that being the New England Patriots?
Not surprised at all, Stu. Not surprised at all while I was watching the season unfold and how things transpired the entire season. Before the season, I would not have picked these two teams, but I watched, and especially the Seattle Seahawks. How can I be so surprised and they were the number 1 seed?
Right.
How can I be surprised with the Seattle Seahawks when I think, in my opinion, that they came out of the toughest division in football, being the NFC West? Agreed. Okay, so there is no – and how can I be surprised with the Seattle Seahawks when they were the number 1 scoring defense? Absolutely, and I mean some records. All-time records. And when you're on the other side with the New England Patriots, they were the number 2 seed. All right, they were the number 2 seed, and they won their division, knocking off the Buffalo Bills that I think they had won it maybe 6 straight seasons, maybe 5 or what have you. So they have a quarterback which probably finished second in the MVP race, or he might win it. I don't know. Right. I think Matthew Stafford should win it, or he might be co-MVPs. Who knows? Like they did back in, I think, 1999 with Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. God bless his soul, or rest his soul. So my point I want to say to you, Stu, is wow, Sam Darnold. That's my takeaway. And the games were pretty good games. The games came down to the fourth quarter that we didn't have to turn the television. We didn't have to find something else to do and be distracted because you couldn't miss a down. Yeah. One was inclement weather. The other one was pretty solid weather, the football type weather.
Yep.
But my goodness, when you look at Sam Darnold and his journey, when you look at Sam Darnold and what he's overcome, he was the reason I picked the Rams. Mm. And he's going to be the reason why I'm doing a lot of research now to maybe pick the Patriots. Mm. But how many times are he's going to have to prove me wrong before I jump on his bandwagon? How many games are he's going to have to play and shut me up before I say, hey, Sam, you got it. You turned it around. I think I'm going to eventually have to do that. But this matchup is going to be a matchup with two top 10, the Super Bowl I'm talking about, 2 top 10 offensive teams and defensive teams. That's to be said. That's a lot to be said about that.
Let's dig into the NFC Championship, as you've already mentioned a couple of things. I'll start with Sam Darnold. 346 yards in the air, 3 TDs, and 0 interceptions.
0.
And when I tell you this man had total unmitigated control of that ball game last weekend, it was miraculous to see. However, it didn't surprise me at all because I saw him last year in Minnesota and the success that he had in what he did with Justin Jefferson. I saw him last year. I saw him all season this year taking Seattle to the #1 seed. Sir, yes, Njigba is an incredible player. Yes, he went for 10 catches for 150 plus yards. Yes, he was unstoppable. But he's the one that put the ball only where he could get it all night long.
Mm-hmm.
Sir,
mm-hmm.
I was not surprised by Sam Darnold and his play. I was not surprised that he delivered his best performance of his career in the biggest game of his career to date.
You Nostradamus.
I wasn't surprised at all.
Man, so Stu, you Nostradamus. So I have to give you credit for being a genius. Because that was not on display in his career in the postseason. Last year in the first round, he went to bed after having a spectacular regular season. This season, don't you know that in some of those big games against the 49ers, and he came back against the Rams and they went for the 2-point conversion, which was huge. This guy's a guy that led the NFL in turnovers.
Right.
With the fumbles and interception totally. Yep. And we only wondered about the big game prowess. Yep. And to your point, he continually proved me wrong because he was the reason I'm saying that the Seattle, or he was going to be the holdup. But they're no longer. But I didn't have that confidence going into it. So I was surprised that he did that. But I won't be surprised going forward. And let me say one more thing about that game.
Please.
Situational football at its best.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about the first quarter, the second quarter, the third. No, situational football at its best. Punt return, muffed for the Rams. You can't do it. And on the next play, wide open Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes.
All right. 3rd and goal inside the 5-yard line, and it happened to be 4th and goal in 2 plays inside the 5-yard line that the Rams had. Situational football, the way they stopped you twice. When you look back at the Seattle Seahawks getting the ball back, and you would know, and I would tell our listeners, it's called a 2-minute drill when the offense has the ball. It is a 4-minute drill. A 4-minute drill when it's a 2-minute drill when the offense has the ball and you want to score.
Right.
And you're trying to kick a field goal or you're trying to go a touchdown to tie it or go up. It's a 4-minute drill when you're trying to run the clock out.
Right.
When you don't need any points and you don't want those guys to get the ball back.
Right.
So when Matthew Stafford and company went for it on 4th down and did not get that 4th down conversion and score a touchdown, they could have gotten the ball back had not Seattle go in that 4-minute drill and not let him touch it again.
No.
Magnificent. So when you talk about situational football, 3rd down, special teams, 4th down conversion, turnovers, that's going to be all it's going to. That's all it's going to take when it comes down to 2 powerhouse, 2 teams that played each other before. That was the 3rd meeting. It's going to be those small things, and that's what the difference with the Seattle Seahawks win, in my opinion.
Stafford threw for 374, 3 TDs, but he had some key errors when it comes. Not him. The team had key errors when it came to special teams and miscues that ultimately cost them. Stafford played good enough to win. But if your team turns the ball over, something that special teams has done for the Rams all season long, if there's one thing that they didn't do well this season, it would be the 3rd of the game we know as special teams. It's just as important as offense and defense.
That's a good point.
And the minute that fumble was botched, the minute that ball was muffed, that's the proper way to say it. I said, there goes the game. Because it was a battle. We're talking about a 31-27 final where they went up and down the field and no one offensively, quarterback-wise, was making a mistake. The minute that ball was muffed and recovered by Seattle, I said, there goes the game. And that ultimately was it.
You and I talk about points and taking points off the board and not kicking a field goal. We talk about it ad nauseum.
Look,
so
real quick, I wrote down about 3 or 4 minutes ago, going for it, which I was going to wait, which is what I was going to wait to get into it with the next game, the AFC game. But let's do it right now. Please go ahead and say what you were going to say.
Yeah, well, that last drive that the Rams had, I mean, the last time they touched the ball offensively, do you gamble and kick that field goal and trust your defense to go back out there? Because when it happened, I understood, and I'm with you. I don't like guys not taking the field goal. I don't like guys not taking the field goal at all. So when you get to the point that now it's 31-30 and a field goal can win you the game, that puts a little bit more pressure back on Seattle that they have to go for it a little bit. They have to put the ball in the air and make sure they don't give you the ball back, because you can get to the 50, maybe the 35, and kick a long field goal to win it. But I would just bring it up to you. Would you have kicked that field goal like the Rams did not do, or would you have done exactly what they did?
We're playing Wednesday afternoon quarterback right now.
That's what we're doing.
We're playing Wednesday afternoon quarterback right now, so it's not fair. However, to answer your question,
Wednesday afternoon quarterback.
It drives me crazy in the regular season when these coaches don't take the points. It drives me crazy. I was pulling the hair out that I don't have in the divisional round of the playoffs when these coaches decide they're going to go for it on 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 1. Coach, we've got to have points to advance to the Super Bowl. Don't deny me points to get to the Super Bowl. Not the Super Bowl, Joe. So if it drives me crazy during the regular season in week 1 or week 2, if you look at my Facebook post while I'm watching games, whenever these coaches deny themselves to go for it or say they're going to go for it, I go to Facebook immediately like, these dumbasses need to take the points.
That's right. That's right.
If I do that in week 1, week 2, week 12, week 16, how do you think I felt when it was for a trip to go to the Super Bowl? Man, take the points. You got to have them.
You got to have them, Stu. And, boy, that's funny. It's a Wednesday morning quarterback, and you're absolutely right. It's so easy for us to do that. But the reason why you don't take those points, and the reason why you don't go for it is because you hadn't stopped the soul.
I understand.
You had to stop the soul. So now Sean McVay is saying that if we don't do it here, we're not getting the ball back in anyway. Or we're not doing it here, then we're still going to be down. They're going to drive down and score.
How about this thought process? All right. We shave a little off with this field goal. I put my defense back on the field. And as you just read a few minutes ago when you were talking about Sam Darnold's stats, we forced Darnold into a turnover that he has done all year long. I trust my defense that somebody verse can come off the corner and knock a ball out of his hand. How about trust your defense to make plays and earn their money instead of saying we won't be able to score if we go for no way.
And you can top what you just said off. You can top what you just said off.
Super Bowl.
Exactly. I'm gonna jog my defense out there. You're right, Stu. That's a great point. I'm gonna jog my defense back out there and say, hey guys, if you don't want it bad enough to go play in Santa Clara,
right?
then I don't know what to tell you. I like that.
Hey guys, the reason why we just took that field goal instead of going for it is because I trust y'all. The reason why I took that field goal instead of going for the touchdown is because film studies showed us that Sam Darnold is a turnover waiting to happen. He can't play consistent through the entire 60 minutes, guys. Here's where we get our turnover, and all we're going to need is a field goal.
Boy, that's good stuff, Stu Dog.
But if you don't get that fourth and 2 or 3 or whatever it was, or 4th and 4, if you don't get that, the chances of you getting the ball back the way the game was going, the chances of you having another chance to score a touchdown is almost slim to none. The minute Matthew Stafford threw that ball and the pass was incomplete, the cameras went to Sean McVay, and he had his face buried in the chart. I started screaming, "Don't bury your head in the chart now!"
But
it's
in essence,
too late.
But in essence, Stu, you did put your defense on the field. Backed up at that. I mean, they started that drive. Seattle started that drive inside the 5-yard line.
Everybody sunk their heads.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody.
Because that's the best. That's our best unit out there. That's our best unit.
I was watching everyone leave the field, and Stafford had a light jog, but the look on his face was like, "God damn it, I just let it go." And everybody was covered. Somehow everybody was covered, and they had a spy on him. They had a robber in the middle of the field. The linebacker was watching him.
The new word now, Stu, and you're going to hear it a lot in the Super Bowl because both of these teams like to do it, is simulated pressure. Simulated pressure. That was when I was playing. I mean, maybe you guys. I mean, especially on the defensive side, you want to show one look and get in another look. We call it disguising. But now it's simulated pressure that we're going to mug the A gap. We're going to mug everything, and then all of a sudden they're going to drop out. They confused not Matthew Stafford, but they confused the play call that Sean McVay thought was going to be open. That's it. I mean, a little cat and mouse. Yep. A little cat and mouse.
In the huddle with Joe Hamilton, I'm One Live Stu Ryan Stewart. Let's jump into the AFC Championship here briefly before we pay some bills and come back on the other side with one more topic. The AFC Championship was a battle at Mile High. Very low-scoring game. Final score 10-7. Drake May. Drake didn't do a damn thing. The Patriots were forced to be very patient in the snow, but his statistics were some of the worst you're going to see from any quarterback in any game ever in the history of football. However, they still found a way to win because they trusted their defense. They still found a way to win because Sean Payton, who has told the world now he wished he would not have gone for a 4th down in the first half. In the first half.
In the first half.
He's wishing he would have taken the field goal instead of going for a touchdown or going for the first down at the time. He wished he would have taken the field goal instead of going for it in the first half. They played another 35, 40 minutes of football in the second half to lose a game for him to come back and say, "Man, I sure wish I wouldn't have done that."
Right. And again, when he would have or should have kicked that field goal, it wasn't inclement weather. The snow hadn't arrived yet.
Yes. Right.
That wind, that 20-mile-per-hour wind wasn't as high yet, okay? And Stu, that was to go up 10-0. That was to go up 10-0, man. That was to go up 10.
That changes the entire game if they go up 10-0.
The only touchdown drive that the New England Patriots had was 12 yards. The only drive on that little botch by Jarrett Stidham that he should not have made. He was trying to be a hero. He didn't respect that his defense was playing lights out in inclement weather. So at that point, it's again situational football. Situational football. And then New England, although Drake May was not perfect or did not play, he wasn't the reason why they won, but he did not have any turnovers. In the 4-minute situation, it was his number they called to seal it. It was his number that they called to say, "Hey, you guys are not getting the ball back, Denver Broncos." At the end of the day, I thought with Bo Nix being out, the best team won. The best team won because the Patriots, I just didn't see any way that you could possibly get it done. The Broncos with Jarrett Stidham, although Sean Payton,
They were right there.
Yeah, again, they were right there, but the 2 turnovers were turnovers with a guy not playing much football.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't say not playing football, but it was especially when he was trying to get sacked and throw it away. He was holding the ball quite a long time, like you're not going to get hit. And that reminds me of a guy practicing, running the scout team, knowing he has a red jersey on and hadn't been tackled in a long, long time. And when those bullets start flying and you still think you got time back there to bake a cake, no, you don't. So that is the only way that I feel that Denver could have won is take the ball out of his hand. But they threw the ball 30-something times with Stidham and they did better.
Jarrett Stidham went 17 for 31 passing with 2 turnovers.
How dare
Sean Payton allow Jarrett Stidham to throw that ball 31 times in inclement weather, in snow, in a guy that hadn't played in 2 years? How dare Sean Payton do what he did to Jarrett Stidham?
Doesn't make any sense, man. Doesn't make any sense. And no, he got the audacity now to fire Joe Lombardi. Joe Lombardi is his offensive coordinator, and then he fired his wide receivers coach too. He's got the audacity. And when I looked it up, I said, I thought Sean Payton calls his own plays. So, I mean, I know he does a game plan and does all the meetings during the week, and he just making sure those guys are having his script ready for the game. But you're pointing fingers, Sean Payton. You're pointing fingers, man. You're the man.
This was one of the lowest scoring conference title wins in NFL history, and it emphasized the old adage that defense wins championships. 2 outstanding defenses battled in inclement weather, and the only reason why one team came up short is because a coach decided to go for a 4th and 1 instead of taking a field goal early, which would have put him up 10-0. B, a coach decided to let a backup quarterback in the biggest game of the team's season throw the ball 31 times in inclement weather. Sean Payton, hands down a Super Bowl winning coach, is the reason why the Denver Broncos aren't playing football next weekend. It was Sean Payton.
Yes, sir. Without a shadow of a doubt. Yes.
We're going to pay some bills and come back on the other side and get into a little bit of what are we talking about next? Oh, primetime Deion Sanders. I'm going to try to read some emails and get to some messages. Joe and I will do the best that we can, and I'm trying not to lie to y'all. I'm going to try to keep it 100 and get to some of those messages. But up next, Deion is literally switching up the game. And Joe and I will talk about if we're pro or anti what primetime is doing. It's In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I'm One Live student Ryan Stewart. Y'all keep it locked right here. Listen, I played in the NFL. I've taken enough shots to last a lifetime. And let me tell you this, taking a shot just to lose weight, that's not a smart play. That's why I roll with Brain IQ. The all-natural weight chews cut cravings, boost metabolism, and sharpen focus. No needles, no chemicals, no crash. Just results you can chew on. And Brain IQ is not just about weight chews. They've got a full lineup of all-natural products to keep your mind sharp, your body fueled, and your health on point. Skip the needles, choose natural. Order now. BrainIQHealth.com/REF/1LiveStew. Brain IQ Chews. Smart, natural, built for results. It's In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I am One Live student Ryan Stewart. We're so glad that y'all have decided to spend some time with us. Make sure that you spread the word, pass the word, let folks know that the stews are back on Mondays and Thursdays, and that every single Wednesday right here at noon, if not noon, 8 or 9 o'clock. We've been pretty consistent with noon, though. Joe and I are here for In the Huddle with Joe Ham. We've talked about the division round of the playoffs. We've got next week to delve into the Super Bowl that will be played between the Patriots and the Seahawks. So we're not going to leave you guys short on that. We talked about the divisional round. We talked about what's the first thing we talked about? Jim?
Bill Belichick.
Belichick and him being snubbed allegedly. Now we're going to get into.
Oh, it wasn't allegedly.
Well,
No.
it depends on who you talk to. I mean, I see it. I get it.
I got you.
I totally get it, and I don't have a problem with it. You know, you make your bed, you got to lie in it, and what he's doing right now is lying in his bed. I'm gonna put this up here, Joe, and let you set the scene. Deion Primetime Sanders has switched the game up. I'll give you a little bit of details on that here shortly. Recruiting like this, one thing, but recruiting like this is one thing, but recruiting like this out loud and losing is another thing. First off, talking about what the league wants. Are you coaching in college crazy? That's the message that's on this clip right here. Please break this story down for those that's listening and watching, and we'll delve into it a little bit deeper here shortly.
Well, Deion had that clip, and Deion was talking on that clip, and the question was presented to Deion about recruiting guys 5'11" and shorter, 5'11" or with stature as a cornerback. And Deion says, I don't recruit him. I don't want him. If he's a walk-on, I'll take him, and I'll have them earn their way, and I can see if they play. And what he was saying, and what he did say, is that because the NFL don't draft them. He said because the NFL don't draft those guys that's under 5'11". And it made me think, Stu, and I'm a Deion fan, and I'm saying to myself, Deion, you're tripping now. You're tripping, and you're on deck. You're on deck for now. It's time to say, what's your real impact? You're on deck as far as making $10.8 million, all well-deserved, bringing notoriety, bringing more enrollment to Colorado, bringing more national eyes to Colorado.
Bringing prestige to Colorado.
Prestige to Colorado, but soon and very soon, and I will say right now, it's wearing off. And why it's wearing off? Because what kind of program are you trying to run here? I understand when you're going to impact young men. I understand that you're going to try to build them to be impactful in society. I understand. I just knew this week, or it just came back to my attention about his fine system, that he's fining these guys like pro players. And he's been doing this for 2 years now. But what happened to finding those guys or punishing those guys the way we were punished? Early 4:30 in the morning, running stadium steps, getting up and doing workouts and weightlifting and all those type of things. That's punishment. Taking away your having curfew and having coaches check that way. That got it done when we're playing. So now you're making it look like it's an NFL program. So I have to judge you that way. You are not, when you say you don't want to recruit, or you're not even looking at a 5'11" guy to be at Colorado, you are dismissing so many different athletes. And it goes right to me right now.
Let's add one part to that. Please remember what you're going to say.
Yes.
Please add that he did say he would allow short walk-ons the opportunity to play at that position if they're not 5'11" or taller. He would allow shorter walk-ons that opportunity. But if he's going to give a scholarship to somebody, or he's going to pay a player to come at that position, he wants them being NFL style / size DBs for his program.
I totally get it, but Stu, we've seen plenty of walk-ons earn scholarships. And lately, it's a big thing in the team meeting room that, hey, I got an announcement, and they give a scholarship to a player, and everybody goes crazy because that guy worked his butt off. That guy was on time and helped guys get better. I understand that. But I'm talking about the best cornerback, or one of the best cornerbacks in college football this year, played for Indiana, number 5. Outstanding footwork, outstanding instinct as far as eye-hand coordination and the ability to catch the ball. I think he had a pick 6 against Oregon in the college football playoffs. So you're dismissing all those guys on a college level. This is not a pro football team. Right. And this is what I want to say about why I'm saying Deion is on deck. And I'm going to say this with my chest. The notoriety, the prestige is going away because of Cignetti. There's no longer hey, whoa, look what Deion is doing, and he's bringing those guys back, because now we have to see you coach. Now we have to see at what point in time is this going to be about the wins and losses when you're talking about Prime being at Colorado. I think that time is here, because he has no more, I wouldn't say excuses, Stu. He has no more let me build this program. Let me continue to improve each and every year because of what I inherited. Yeah, we know what you inherited. We know that was a struggling program before you got there. But we just watched a guy do it in 2 years with the all-time losingest program in college football history. So that is why, sir, I'm saying he's not going to have to put up or shut up because we want Prime to be talking. But it's about time we see some wins and losses, my brother. I mean, some wins.
In the huddle with Joe Hamilton, I'm One Live Stu Ryan Stewart. Joe, I got to give you a little bit of pushback. I don't think that we're debating per se because everything you just said is right. This is college football. These players should be given the opportunity to be successful and or fail. These players probably shouldn't be getting fined like they're in the National Football League because they're not. They're in college. However,
I don't have a problem with him getting fined if he's doing it that way. Prime's got that prestige.
The face of college football has changed, and it ain't got nothing to do with Prime. Can you imagine how some 17, 18, and 19-year-olds that's now making $6, $7 million for 1 year of college football, how they probably are coming to a few meetings late, how they probably are not showing up to practices on time, how they probably, come to the plane or to the bus to take them to the plane and they don't have on their suit and tie because, what's he going to do to me?
Right.
When we were in college, coaches would literally run our pee-pees in the dirt.
In the dirt.
For making dress code violations, for coming to practice late, for not showing up at a practice, for missing a meeting, for coming to a meeting late. The entire defense of meeting room would be punished for one player. Can you imagine what these coaches are dealing with now when you've got a player that's making $5 million in a season and he's not even 20 years old? They can't tell these kids nothing. How do you get that player to understand? Take what he's there for. They're not there for education no more. They're not there to be at a prestigious university anymore. They're not there because it's their favorite school. They're there because the majority of them are hired guns.
Hired guns.
So I'm going to make you do right by me and this program by taking your money. That's what matters.
Woo. You know what, Stu? That is really good, brother. Really good. And I want to add on to it a little bit because I have no problem with the fines because they're getting money. And I did some research on it as far as, is that legal? Can he do that? Where's the money going? And my research tells me that I'm even more in favor of the fines because it goes into the team kitty. It goes to where those guys want extra big time meals, when the guys want to go on like not necessarily road trips, but they want to do something as a team, get more anything outside of just the football. That's in a whole collective. And not only that, that's ran by the seniors. That's ran by the bunch of guys that's chosen by the peers. That's chosen. You know how it goes when you pick captains. That's not by the coaches or by your peers. So that captain is going to hold people accountable. So for the people that say it is illegal to do it because these guys are not employees, he's not taking their money and running with it. He's not taking those guys' money and putting it in his pocket.
No.
He's putting that money in a bowl for the team.
He's teaching accountability.
Yeah.
Before the league teaches them accountability. You miss a meeting, fine. You late for practice, fine. Your dress code is not at the par, you're getting fined.
See, that's what I would like. That's
making mistakes on social media that makes us look bad at you saying stupid stuff on social media, fine.
Yeah. Yes. But I got a little drawback when He's doing that before they get to the league. Too much of what Prime is saying is preparing them for the league. Everything is league. Everything is not about the league. I'll give you an example of what we talk about. And and this will hit you really, real hard. All right. When you talk about under 5'11", and I'm not drafted, recruiting them, no scholarship. I think about your teammate, man. My teammate, number 32, Nate Perryman. So Nate Perryman, in my eyes, was a very, very, very good college football player.
Yep.
That he probably had a cup of tea in the NFL, or even he made a team in the NFL. But you're telling me you don't want that guy to help you win games? You're dismissing that guy because he doesn't meet a NFL type of size? Come on, brother. That's what I'm talking about. This is not an NFL program yet. Or not even yet. It's not an NFL program. It's never going to be an NFL program. Yeah, you can prepare those guys.
But Joe, they're being there's Joe. There's a handful of kids in college football that's making more money than NFL rookies. So these kids ain't there for the education no more. These kids are school hopping. There's kids that's been in the league in college for 4 years that's on their third or fourth team. So no, it's not the NFL, but I'll be damned if it's not right next to it. Yeah, the way things used to be done ain't being done like that anymore. NFL changed the player, and it changed the coaching dynamic between said player and coach. The players are making money. The players have brands. The players now have more leverage than they've ever had before. Deion's message is simple. If you're going to act like a pro and get paid like a pro, you're going to be treated like a pro.
That's his message, and I get it. So now, let's win. Because there's no more back burner now, Stu. There's no more about, you can only take me so far as saying his impact is about developing young men, which is tremendous. Or his impact is about, Colorado and the prestige and the notoriety. Win at $10.8 million, are you going to win? Because again, the Colorado Buffaloes under the watch of Deion Sanders hadn't held up any trophies, conference trophies, college football playoffs, nothing. And again, you can't tell me, or you can tell me, and it's facts if you say that what he inherited in the Colorado Buffalo team that was irrelevant, completely irrelevant. If this continues, the last year, when he missed the bowl under 500, if this continues, they're going to go back to irrelevancy because they're going to look at what Cignetti did. You're shaking your head, man, but it's going to eventually be about wins.
It ultimately is always about wins, but when you're a program that was as destitute as Colorado was, they won one game the season prior to Deion being there. Mm-hmm. And they had home games where they may not have even had 1,000 people in the stadium.
That's right.
It was worse. Back in the day when we used to travel to Duke,
yeah,
it took a lot to get motivated to play because no one was in the stadium.
Right.
You got 1,000, 2,000 people in a stadium that seat 50,000. You're looking up there and all you're seeing is cement. You watch the games on TV and you could hear the players talking about calls and checks. Clear as day.
Facts.
So now, you mentioned it a second ago, enrollment in Colorado is up. Ain't got nothing to do with sports. Enrollment is up. That's school. That's people paying for an education more since Prime's been there. The economy in the Boulder area is up. Why? Because of the hotels, in the car rentals, in the restaurants, in the mall, and the people buying merch, dressing like Dion when they come to the game. I got homeboys in Charleston, South Carolina that have been to 3 Colorado games per year since Dion's been there. How many schools are they passing that they could go to enjoy a football game to get to Colorado?
From Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah.
Up until on the sideline, Randy Moss on the sideline, Lil Wayne on the sideline, stars on the sideline. Sir, I've been around football my entire life, and I chose to be a dad instead of going to the game when Georgia Tech played Colorado last season.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt like hell looking at everybody's feeds on social media that was there. Atlanta was deep in Colorado. It's one of my favorite cities. I wanted to be there. It hurt not being there. Why? Because it was the place to be. That
was a cute story, Stu. That was a cute story at the time, and it is still a cute story at the time when you're thinking that you have time to change it all around. Okay. It was a cute story when you're saying that, hey, man, listen, yeah, we have next year, mm-hmm. And when Shedeur Sanders leaves, Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders leaves, and Travis Hunter leaves, that what we going to do then? So now we're going to build a program.
And they regressed. They regressed without Travis and without Shedeur.
Well, we still was going to give Dion time. Even last year, we're going to give Dion time. But this year, it's changed. The landscape has changed because of one coach and one program. That's all. Everything you're saying, I'm not taking away from it at all. They are true, and it's complete facts. Now, though, it's not the pretty boy story anymore because what you were doing, turning around Colorado, bringing more eyes to the program, some of that's going to shift to where I want to be Indiana. What about their enrollment now? What about their city and the hotels and everything around that was going to go through the roof?
You saw how deep they was in Miami.
Deep.
That championship.
Deep. That is all I'm saying. At some point, Prime is going to have to do something on the football field with what you're saying. Everything what you're saying is still can be there, but at some point he's going to have to produce on the football field as far as wins.
Let's talk about Cignetti before we get out of here, Joe. In the Huddle with Joe Hamilton. I'm your boy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. So you're saying that Cignetti and his instant success in Indiana with the Hoosiers football team has changed the time frame when it comes to winning for other college coaches in college football?
Right now, immediately, you're judged different. Right now, there is no excuse for Duke. There's no excuse for Vanderbilt. There's no excuse for Colorado. You can't name me one excuse. Not one. Recruiting budget? Well, this guy went and got guys from Elon and James Madison. I mean, a losing program. I want you to go back, Stu. I want you to go back and watch the post. I don't know if it's X or whatever that Coach Cignetti's first home game coaching in Indiana. It was like the Duke you're talking about. It was probably 100 people in the stands.
Nothing.
Till now. So that's why he's changed the landscape. There's no wait. There's no I have time. There's no when I can get my guy in. Yeah. They didn't have a Heisman Trophy winner. He went and got a guy, a 2-star, and made him a Heisman Trophy winner. So that's why I'm saying that they're from nobody.
Gotta coach him up. Gotta coach him up.
You gotta coach him. Shout out to Cignetti.
I want to tell the world this too, before we get out of here. Not only is Joe Hamilton a coach at heart, he lives it and believes it. In his eyes, the star of a player is very important, but what's more important to him is, I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-star, do you have somebody that can coach him up on ball and philosophy?
Yes. And Stu, thank you for that. At the heart of it, when I'm talking about it, that's what I'm saying. And there's no doubt we saw coaching. Now, I'm not saying a lot of people don't coach. I'm not taking anything from Kirby Smart, Coach Smart, and Ryan Day, and Harbaugh when he was at Michigan. I'm not doing that. But man, to take those guys who nobody wanted and play up to that level,
Right.
Come on, man. Shout out to Signetti.
ADs love proof of concept. Athletic directors don't live in hypotheticals, they live in examples. So Signetti now becomes the slide in the PowerPoint. Look at what's possible. That raises internal expectations, whether it's fair or not. Sir, Billy Napier in Florida, Ryan Day at Ohio State, even though he just got a championship, Mario Cristobal in Miami, Lincoln Riley at USC, Dabo Sweeney in Clemson,
that snitch,
James Franklin, who just got the job at Virginia Tech, Norville at Florida State. Y'all gotta get y'all shit together now.
Hey, Stu, I love what you just did.
Right now.
I love what you just did, but you made it too easy. You made it too easy, and here's why. You should bring Duke right up in there.
Even the guys that are less than, even the teams we look at as less than, because Indiana was due.
That's what I'm saying. So
You
it's not even the
exactly
powerhouse.
right. Stanford, Wake Forest, Duke, UNC,
yes,
Georgia Tech.
yes.
You ain't got to be a superpower no more.
Nope.
Look what this guy just did.
I love what you just said about the ADs, because now there's not wish, should, or could. They're looking at an example.
They got the PowerPoint set up. You no longer have 3 to 4 to get it done. I've seen a guy that took the worst college football program in history to 27-2 in 2 years with a Heisman Trophy winner, with 2 3-star players, and a national championship. You don't have an excuse, coach.
Nope. Or I'm gonna find myself the next Signetti.
You on the hot seat. Let me read a couple of these messages before we get out of here. You on the hot seat. Grand Awakening, Mac Hamilton, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Tiffany and Poodle in Portland, we appreciate you, Tiffany. Good afternoon from the West Coast. Good morning from the West Coast. One last to Mr. Hamilton. Good afternoon to you, beautiful. Can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. No, as a matter of fact, can't wait to see you in 9 to 8 days for the Stu's Cruise. Looking forward to it. Good afternoon, Stu family. Marvin Childs. What up, Stu Nation and Joe? Dang, I miss you guys. Pause. WTF is my Steelers doing? Thank you for that, Marvin Childs. Your thoughts on the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Your former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they should move on from Aaron Rodgers, even if he wants to come back, because that's going to hold the whole entire organization back another year. You can't start over with a 62-year-old Mike McCarthy, but you're going to have to rebuild. You're going to have to try to get Will Howard, the draftee from the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're going to have to try to get him ready. I think having Aaron Rodgers back on the team is fool's gold if you're trying to hold up a title. But I like McCarthy. I like the hire.
Sir, I'm glad you said that. The Steelers are known for the unknown when it comes to coaches. But I like we don't have time to figure it out right now. I like I'm going to go with a proven winner. I like you got a coach that has coached and cut his teeth in Green Bay, left Green Bay and went to Dallas. So yeah, when it comes to notable programs, notoriety of football teams and organizations that know football, you got a guy that's been to 2 of the best in the league, now a 3rd.
Historic franchises.
This is some BS. Richard Bullock, he's probably talking about when we were talking about the first comment earlier with
Belichick. Oh,
yep.
yeah. Yep.
Anthony Wright NFL coaches are jealous. This opened the door to pick up and choose whom you want to go into the Hall of Fame. The writers have the pen, and they've always had the ability to pick and choose.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this is about the coaches. They know better.
Yeah.
They know better. Jimmy Johnson came out and said that, I mean, come on.
Right.
They know what coaching looks like, and they know what's done on the football field. Come on.
So Brady, no first ballot then? Yeah, I think if Brady doesn't go in on the first ballot, he's part of the same cheating scandal that his coach was. Marvin Child said, great story, R. It's probably the story I told about my 2 hours I spent with Bill Belichick.
I did not know that, man. That's an awesome. However, though, I wanted to say this. No player, and you were a player then, and you said he was not an a-hole, but no players have really said that about him being a prick like that. So when you were in that meeting with them, it was all ball. That's his safe haven. Yep. He wants to do that.
Yeah.
That's a great story for real, man. My goodness.
It's a story I've never told. I've mentioned my workout with Bill Belichick, but I've never gotten in depth with it like that. And what's funny is, what do I tell you all the time when we talk? Man, you played with some great players. You got some great stories that you can share. Always let those stories ride. And that's the first time I dealt and shared that story in depth like I did.
Awesome, my God.
DJ Chuck 4459, Bill Polin has a lot to do with Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame first ballot. I agree 100%. I can see Bill Belichick trying to put together a group of folks that will support him in his decision to keep Bill. I can see that.
And I read all 50 of the names.
These Nordics do that all the time.
Yeah, and I read all 50 of those names that's on the ballot that votes. Bill Polian is one. So we know for sure one person that didn't vote for Bill Belichick. We know that for sure is one.
Anthony Wright, Bill was a dick, but most black coaches are considered dicks by the media. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with that, but I don't agree with it at all. I'm not going to argue with it, though.
What black coaches are considered dicks in the media?
Right.
My mentor, I mean, they love him. Tony Dungy. Yeah,
Flores was not a dick to the media. He was dicks to his quarterback, but he wasn't dicks to the media. Let's see.
Yeah, he was right about Tua, though. He was right about Tua.
Show me where he lied.
Oh, my God.
Anthony Wright again, nothing new to minorities. Bill should go in immediately. Don't base it on emotion. I really like that. Appreciate that. Good afternoon to Two Great Rambling Wreck. We appreciate you, Country Dirt Road. Thank you for being here, player. Really appreciate you. Let's see. Deflategate, Spygate. Great Marvin Childs. We appreciate you, Marvin. Louis Twall said with Satan. I don't know what W Satan means, but we appreciate you being here. RC Minnesota. Hang in there, RC Minnesota, if you're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He was just saying what's up to us. Hang in there, Minnesota. Golly, it's stuff on y'all right now.
Goodness.
And that reminds me, Joe, be careful in these streets.
Man.
Don't let these cats make you a statistic. Be willing to give yourself up to get home. And I can have a smart mouth from time to time, and I don't like being bullied or pushed around, and
And see, this one, Stu,
go ahead.
How do I put it? This is a chance for me to really say that this is a society problem now. This is not one of those black and white and this killing off and all that. Yeah. This is a come on now. Now we really can galvanize the troops now. Now we really should be pulling together. What is dividing in this situation in Minneapolis, in Minnesota? Right. Nothing should be pulling us this way.
Yep.
Come on.
I have a buddy that sent me videos of a couple of truckloads of ICE SUVs being brought to Georgia into the ATL. I have a buddy that sent me an email saying ICE is now here heavier than ever. They've got 75 new Tahoes that's being put on the street for ICE agents in Georgia and especially in the ATL. Be careful out there.
Whew.
Scary.
Whew. Scary.
The great Marvin Childs, they say MJ is a dick. first ballot Hall of Fame. Yeah, NJ's been known to allegedly slap and kick and punch teammates. He's first ballot.
Yeah. Charles Barkley said he's not a role model.
No. Another one from RC in Minnesota. I've said for years, Hall of Fame players and coaches should all get a vote. I agree with that.
I agree with that as well. That's a good point.
Yeah, I agree with that. Brian Hill. I don't know if this is RB Hill from Georgia Tech, but if it is UB Hill at Georgia Tech, it's in D.C. Shouts out to you, bro. Hey, PNP, your Blazers are way better than I thought they'd be. Okay. Blazers are balling right now. I've been trying to get into the basketball here the last week or so. I've been watching all the Tech games. It's a hard watch right now.
Hard watch.
You let another one go last night. It's a hard watch right now.
God, it's a hard watch. It's a primetime matchup for them, especially college. Now, I will say this about college. The top five, the top 5 draft picks are going to be all freshmen. They are balling.
Yeah.
From the guy in North Carolina, from DeBonsta in BYU, the guy over in Kansas. They are balling. So if you're in the top 5, I don't know if you want to tank, and as a player, you never want to tank. I know it's not coming from the players, but if your owner says, man, sit down this today, just know he has a reason for saying it.
In reference to our Hall of Fame conversation, RC, you remember when Deion Sanders said it should be an upper room for certain coaches and players getting into the Hall of Fame? Do you agree with that?
No.
Should it be the Hall of Great?
No.
Then the Hall of Fame? Or should it continue to be just the Hall of Fame where there's some really, really good but not great that get in there?
Just one, Stu, because it's going to do us good just to talk, sports talk, but we're going to have arguments about that. It goes back to the Super Bowl ring or Super Bowl rings. What room can you go in? Well, if you only have one, you can't get into a room with Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Right. And that's just understood. We're not taking your wing away from you. Right. But you can't go.
Y'all can't go where these guys can go. Right. They got one of those all access passes. You have a pass that has a color on it.
Right.
RC Minnesota, dare we say the cynical, grudge-holding voters were consistent in their cynicism towards Belichick? Yes.
Yeah.
Reap what you sow. Read a couple more. It's very interesting that Sam Darnold is the first quarterback to reach the Super Bowl from the 2018 draft class that had Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Josh Rosen in it. Your thoughts on that, Joe?
Excellent point. Who career would you want if he finished the drill? At this point, you remember Cam Newton a month or two back last year was talking about he would rather have an MVP in his MVP season than being a Super Bowl champion. Yeah. And I disagreed with it. Some people agreed with them, and that's neither here nor there. If Sam Darnold was to pull this off and be Super Bowl MVP, now I'm not talking about just tagging along like Trent Dilfer or tag along like Brad Johnson when I played with him with the Bucks. I'm talking about Super Bowl MVP. Would you rather Josh Allen career than his? Because I'm not going to say Lamar Jackson. This is the reason why I'm not going to say Lamar Jackson, because he's a 2-time MVP.
This is a good one, Joe.
He's a 2-time MVP. So would you rather his career than Baker Mayfield, who was the number 1 overall pick? I've always said, give me that trophy, brother.
Yeah. And you're a player that was blessed to get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
So you know the feeling, and you still say, "Yeah, I'll pass on that MVP. Let me get that ring."
I will say this too, Stu. With that being said, my career and that Super Bowl is a little bit different because I might go with that MVP because that means that I would have played. You know what I mean? So that's the difference in my career as far as that MVP and Super Bowl trophy. If I was the winner MVP, that meant that
means you was on the field.
Yes, exactly.
And you balled.
Exactly.
When it comes to those quarterbacks, I'm gonna rank them right now. At 4, I'm putting Josh Allen. I think he's had the least hardship to deal with in the National Football League compared to the others. At 3, I'm putting Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall pick. He was instantly expected to save a broken franchise, play through injuries. At 2, I'm putting Lamar Jackson. Entire league question if he should even be a quarterback. People wanted him to transfer to receiver the day he got there.
We just talked about that guy who did that.
Right.
Bill Polian. The Hall of Fame Bill Polian
right.
would say, hey, yeah.
Right. I'm not even going to let him be a quarterback.
Right.
And last but not least, at number 1, it's got to go to Sam Darnold now because of what he's done. The last 2 years he's had has been phenomenal. Phenomenal. The last 2 years he's had. And we'll get into it next week in depth. But there's no doubt in my mind he gets this Super Bowl victory. There's no doubt in my mind. If he don't turn that ball over and he managed the game like he did last week, he didn't manage the game. He had an outstanding game going over
He was the reason.
Touchdowns. He's the reason. So, yeah, if he plays anything like he did last weekend, there's no doubt in my mind with that defense that they have that they're not only going to win, they're going to bust New England's behind.
New England got a really good defense. I know this is hypothetical a little bit, Stu, but, dude, how this list changes if he doesn't bring it home. Where do you put him if he does not bring it home?
Well, he's still got to be up there because he's the only one to get to a Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's still got to be up there. The others hadn't gotten there.
But they don't have any trophy. But still, he wouldn't have a trophy, though. Those other got MVPs.
Hey, man. Dorsey Levens and I talk about it all the time. He played in multiple Super Bowls. As a player, what else do you want?
Right.
I mean, to say you're one of the last teams standing.
That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. Yes.
Everybody in the world is watching you on Super Bowl Sunday. There's only 106 players a year that are blessed to be able to say that. There's thousands of players. There's only 106. If you want to add the 14 practice squad players, yeah, please do, because they're probably on the sideline too. But there's only 106 that say, I played football on Super Bowl Sunday.
And that's what I'm saying. And playing the ultimate team sport. So when you get to, I mean, you don't have to miss me with individual awards because there are accolades that you should, especially a quarterback, that you should share with your teammates, your offensive line. But as a team, gosh.
We talked about this one being a third of the game from B. Hill again. Special teams can win you one, or special teams can lose you one.
I hope that's the B. Hill from Georgia Tech as well. Who hooped, right? He was hooping, right?
Yep.
We had some battles in the sack, but he was a really good player from New York, I think.
Yep. It was funny to me how he had the ups that he had because his head was so big. Shouts out to you, B. Hill. He was a hell of a baller.
Hell of a baller.
And it's harder to get on the court in college for basketball than it is to get on the field in college for football. It's hard to get on that court in basketball. Only got 5 spots.
Oh, yeah. And you got to play both ends with the 5 spots.
Right. Defense and offense. You can't just have offensive game. if you giving up the cookies on defense, coach going to take you off the floor.
Hey, man, sit by me, brother.
All right. I'm going to do one more. Sean Payton should have never changed the run play to a pass. That basically was the momentum change of the football game. In that last play that they had where he let Stidham roll out, I would have never rolled Stidham out. I would have never done that.
No.
Sean Payton cost him that damn game the way he called.
Oh, no doubt about it. And the way you said it so emphatically earlier, man, I was like, hey, he is spot on. Spot on. And you like rolled out type of calls, but sprint right option is for those
Somebody
guys
that can tuck that thing and wheel it on down there.
Because that's the third option.
That's the third option. Then he wasn't the third option.
No, sir. No, sir. He didn't come out from behind the center. He didn't come out from his position. Like the coaches always told me, sprint to the sideline like a bat out of hell. And then make them stop the run first.
Clarence Stu 42. Appreciate you, Clarence. Who would have thought that 10 points was enough to win an AFC championship game? Not me. Not me. Not
from a genius Sean Payton calling the plays.
No. No. Everybody in the chat room, thank y'all for your participation in today's show. Y'all get an A+. We can't thank y'all enough for being here. We really appreciate y'all rocking with us. Joe Ham, outstanding job on your behalf today, man. Fantastic.
There were no field goals again this week, man. We scored and we went for 2. We scored and we went for 2, man. That was good stuff.
We got that 4th and 1 all day long, man.
My goodness, man.
God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. If you don't know him, you need to find him and show him love. That's all he's showing you, nothing but love. Quick reminder, like, subscribe to the show, pass the word about the show. Make sure people know that we're here every Wednesday at 12. If not at 12, somewhere around 8 or 9. Also, make sure you pass the word about the 2 Live Stews, the gift that keeps giving. Mondays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. So tomorrow morning at 7, we'll be right here during the pre-show meeting at 6:30. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all be careful in those streets. I look forward to breaking it down with Doug tomorrow morning and spending time with y'all again. Peace.
Peace.
Outstanding job, Joe. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.